All right, guys, we are on podcast number 3. And so what does that mean? Well, before I get into it, let's thank our girlfriends and our significant others for supporting our podcast today, and as well as Z-Pro Lithium for not sponsoring this podcast, but just supporting me in my ventures. And today we're going to be talking about the kayak scene, some secret baits, and Twitch with our guest, Alex Sterling. I met this gentleman over at the KBF National Championship this year over at Kentucky Lake. And fortunately, we made the top 100 together. I believe so. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right,
yes,
Alex?
Sir.
And I hope you guys enjoy this one. All right. So let's get into this, man. So at first, I wanted to hit you up last night about Twitch. And I was just like... why not have him on the podcast, deliver some great content? So where are you at?
North Carolina. I'm over in the Raleigh area, about 10 minutes from the airport.
Dude, so you're going to be right next to Yak and Zach Fishing.
I think he said he'll be in the Charlotte area. I'm not sure exactly. He didn't
He's
give
going to
us...
be South Carolina.
Yeah. Yep.
How far is that?
So from where he's going to be, probably 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. Wow, dude. You guys got to collab, dude.
Yeah, it's most definite. As soon as he popped up, because he posted it in the Queen City kayak bass fishing, like he's moving down here looking for a tournament scene, and we're like, uh-oh. Yeah. Cause, I mean, everybody knew who he was. That was the magic of it. As soon as he posted, like, it was just all love, and we were like, yeah. Come on. And because, I mean, it's going to be a different fishery. I mean, he's originally from Florida, so coming over to South Carolina and fishing those waters, he's gonna get a little dirty. But
how is that different, like compared to Florida?
So
because
Florida,
I mean, I'm from California, so
yeah.
the only lakes that I've been out of state that I fished at that I could remember is Cattle Lake, Kentucky, and Lake Dardanelle. So tell me a little bit of the difference. Tell our audience a little bit about the difference.
So in the thought process of Caddo, you still have there's some clear water there, but most of the time it's tannic, and then based off the conditions, you can get a little cloudy and a little dirty. But South Carolina, you'll see a lot more, maybe like on a really good day, maybe 2 foot of visibility on some of the eastern fisheries. So like Santee,
Santee Cooper?
Yeah, that translates more like Caddo, but it's just deeper. It has a little bit deeper spots, but it's still a marshy swamp area, cypress trees everywhere. Then you have Murray, a little bit clear water, but depending on how it goes, you'll be in there fishing for spots in about 20 feet on a good day. And then there's a couple others that are far west that I haven't been to.
So you guys have deep water.
Yeah,
you guys have 20.
Yeah, 20 to 30 is like most of our maxes, but there's some mountain reservoirs and quarries that turned into lakes out here that I was at James Lake last week looking for smallies, and deepest part was 110 feet, and they were suspended within like 30, 40 feet. That's not my style, so I had to go find them. But we did find a couple in back of some pockets. But yeah, for the most part, South Carolina, he'll be fishing a little bit of the South Carolina and a little bit of North Carolina because they have a couple near the Charlotte area. So it'll be a pretty good trail this year. Vinny's running that one.
It's not that different compared to California, except for water visibility.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Zach is a power fisherman. He likes fishing, those vibrating jigs. Yep. I think his go-to is chatterbait, but he also likes cranking too.
Yeah.
The last tournament that we fished, he was on a crankbait bite off of a brush pile in like 10 feet of water or a lay down, and he was fishing a 6 Sense Cloud deep diver or medium diver.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's suitable for him more over in South Carolina and North Carolina for sure.
Yep.
But you guys will have some fun. I would like to see you two on Twitch. If you guys can make that happen, that would be awesome.
I'll ping him. I'll see if he's up for it.
Yeah, for sure. So Oh, does that organization allow motors or no?
No, so Queen City is no motor. And it's a 4 fish limit, so it's a little bit different. But all the other trails in the South Carolina, North Carolina area normally are 5 fish limit, and motors are allowed.
Oh, okay, all the other trails. Mm-hmm. Right on, right on. So let me bring you on this topic. Where do you think the kayak scene is going? Do you think it's on an upward trend still, or do you think it's slowly declining, or is it stagnant? Like, do you think there's some changes that need to happen?
So, in my experience for the last, because I'm one of the pandemic kayakers. That's what I consider myself. Mm-hmm. I needed to get out. So at that point, 2020, 2021, huge growth. Manufacturers were struggling to put out plastic boats. So at that point, mm-hmm. it was really, really good surge. I would say last year, more so on the competitive scene, and what I've seen in my area, it has been on the growth, but not into the competitive scene, more so in recreational, just people wanting to get out. And a lot of that, post-pandemic and then coming into last year, a lot of people just wanted to get outdoors. Kayak was there, and most of the time, the people that I saw last year that were just getting into their kayak, they had maybe 1 or 2 poles. If I run into them this year, they got maybe 4 or 5. So from what I'm seeing, it is growing, and it's almost contagious, because once you see somebody doing it, you get interested into it. It creates that thought process and a spiral, and like, okay, I'm gonna get one too, and then they're gonna come out and try it. So I would say, from my point of view, with just the scenes that we have here, it is growing slow, but it's growing. A lot more people are getting interested into it.
It's definitely one of those things that triggers people to purchase more things, more and more things.
Yeah.
And I believe some of the bigger companies are noticing. I've had a history of kind of like being... I applied for sponsors before, and they haven't fully committed to the kayak scene yet.
Yeah.
I still feel that way.
Toe dip. Yeah. They're looking from a distance with the toe dip. Yep.
Yeah. But they're giving, they're paying respects to those anglers that have been putting in their work way before the pandemic. Yeah. Like Greg Blanchard, Christine Fisher, Cody Milton. Yeah. I think those 3 anglers are probably the most successful anglers out there. Russ Snyder.
I was about to say Russ has been doing it way before many of us.
Yeah, Russ has been a guide. I think he got rid of his bass boat when he moved to Tennessee, and just went kayak fishing, I think.
Yeah.
Lives out his car. But originally he was a California guy. Let me see. So the kayak scene, I hope it's different the next couple of years. It really makes it tough to fish all these tournaments, especially you have the experience of going out to Kentucky Lake over at the national championship. Is that the furthest that you traveled?
Yeah, so that was my in all travels, that has been my furthest for kayak, like competitive fishing. Hopefully this year, 2023 coming up, I can get kind of close to that, but I don't think I want to travel more than 10 hours away from the house. I think staying within that 10-hour range is going to be pretty suitable for this upcoming year. So
Chickamauga is not in the books for next year?
No, not as of right now. I mean, it would take a lot of variables and good fortune for me to make that trip. But for the most part, that one wasn't going to be on the list for me for this season.
Tell us about how difficult it is to fit those 3-day events.
Man, it was, so that was my first 3-day event. Kentucky was, and man, the 3 days of actual competition didn't affect. I mean, it was taxing on the body, but I've never done 3 days of practice leading into 3 days of competition, and all of that combined. When I felt that the third day, on championship day, when I picked my kayak up, I swear it multiplied by 2. I wasn't lifting up the same thing I've been moving around the whole year. It was so much heavier. But
do you feel it on the third day? The third day of fishing?
Yeah, the second day once I got out, I mean, I was more anxious just to get back over to the check in and get everything. So I didn't feel it. Like I didn't feel the how tired my body was. But that third day when I like laid down on the second day and woke up third day, I was like, I looked at my buddy Jeremy. I was like, yo, I'm feeling it, man. He's like, championship day. If you're gonna feel it, better be here. You better ride it out. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Got to push through it. But no, it was a really new experience to me. Coming into those many days of practice, because normally when I'm fishing out here, North Carolina, I'm probably putting in maybe 1, at most 2 days of practice. So my patterns are pretty fixed, or the thought process of what I'm going to be fishing, where I'm going to be fishing, it's pretty stable. At Kentucky Lake, my first practice, I mean, I couldn't find a fish. Like I knew they were there. I could scan them, I could see them, but I wasn't catching them. And that kind of, new place, new water, clear water. I was like, second day, or end of the first day, coming the second day, I was like, okay, I think I have a pattern, because it felt more like home. I found dirty water. I found moving water. So I was like, all right. But then coming into game plan of just fishing Kentucky, it was really straightforward. But like I said, third day was like, I had to go check out new water that I've never fished, just going off of the people I was staying with, in their analysis of the area.
What did you end up finishing at?
I think 71 for a championship. But I went into day 2, and I really wish I would have found the fish, or they would have stayed in that river for day 2. But I finished day 2 on at 49, and I was like, well, I think I have a chance.
Yeah, was it a tributary river, or was it a pretty big river?
It was a big river. It was the main river right outside of the maybe like 20 minutes from Paris.
Oh, from our
the
main
check-in.
launch?
Yep.
From the check-in, really?
Yeah, it was very close. It was in the next town right over there. Super close. It was hidden though. I think that was the cool thing about it. Mm-hmm. Like you had to go in the back of the town to find the launch, or 2 launches, but they were there. And the fish were there. It was just rough.
Were you the one that told me the story about you're being chased by people?
No.
Or was that someone else?
That was somebody else. No.
I think it was someone else. Someone else told me like they went in the backwoods.
Yeah, no, I didn't get sketchy. No, I tried to keep it as.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's the play it safe, dude.
Yeah, you're in a different state. I'm like 10 hours from home. No, I'm not going to try to get risky, right?
Dude, Chad Hoover said it. He was like, if they find you on their shore of property, they will shoot you.
It's different mindset, different culture, man.
Yeah, got to be careful. It's someone else's home, not ours.
Yep. Yeah, but compared to Caddo and then going into Kentucky, how did you feel? I mean, you were experienced at these 3-day tournaments.
Third day, I didn't have a motor. I had the 120 PDL, Old Town, for Cattle Lake. And I feel like having a pedal drive, it actually, like the Old Town specifically, I could position my boat way faster, way more responsive compared to a remote control. Just to be absolutely 100% truthful, is just pedal drive was awesome. But the only thing I got to say is having a motor really helps out in terms of like energy over 3 to 6 days of fishing. Agreed. Right? You make this long run. I mean, we make so many long runs. You make a 20-minute. Did you make a 20-minute run the first thing?
Yep.
Is that your style? Is like you like to get away from the crowd or get away from the launch ramp ASAP?
So I was more so. I would say I evolved. I was more so in my initial coming into competitive fishing, go to where I want to go or where I practice. But now with, like we were saying, how the growth has, especially in the competitive scene out here, it's more so figure out what's working for me, run as far as I can before lines in, and look for anything that's close. And then on my way back, if I know I have some juice somewhere, I'll go make the milk run. But yeah, it's definitely been get away and try to get comfortable on hot spots or like small patterns. It's
definitely a strategy. Like you don't want to fish your way from the launch ramp out to your spot and then come back, because you won't have any time coming back to fish.
Exactly.
You got to go hit your further spot and then come come on the way back.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
gotta have
tricky
that
though.
thing.
Sometimes it's a timing deal. Like let's say if you get bit first thing in the morning closer to the launch ramp, but your spot's all the way over like I don't know, like a mile away, mile and a half away, right?
What you gonna do? Yeah,
Yeah.
you got that's what decision are you gonna make? You gonna sit on it and see what happens, or you
Yep.
gonna miss out on that? What? Because you still got another 15 minutes to go to probably get to your spot,
Yeah.
and you're watching all these lights at the dark go by. You're like,
Yeah.
do they got the same juice I got? Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was similar to what the guys fishing over the Hobie BOS over at Cattle Lake. Very similar deal.
Everybody was. It looked like everybody was in yelling distance of like really good spots, following up on like
Exactly.
Nolan Ewing, and everybody was
Yeah.
posted all their experiences. It seemed like everybody was very, very, very close.
Close to within each other's spots. Like Nolan, you said, and then you watched Be the Fish as well.
Yeah, of
Bailey.
course. Yeah.
So you saw him talk.
Yeah,
mean-
everybody was like, yeah, and then
Yeah.
to see the proximity of Nolan and the gentleman who won, and just within yards, you can see like this dude's probably going to pull out $45,000, and then Nolan's probably going to pull out
Yeah.
15, and that's the distance of all that money. Is a yelling distance. Yeah,
That's the crazy thing is that was my experience over at Clear Lake. It's kind of like once you land on that jewel piece that's like less than a football field, probably like 50 yards of football field
yeah,
or less. Sometimes it's just the touchdown area.
yeah.
That's all it is. And then it's crazy. Out of the whole entire lake, there's only a football field, or I mean a touchdown area
Yep.
where there's winning fish. And then Nolan and what's his name? The guy that won the Hobie BOS.
I forgot his name.
Brian. I think it was
there you
Brian.
go. Yep.
Brian
you got it.
Nilly or something?
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Nilly and Nolan. Oh, Nolan finished fourth place actually, right?
Yep.
But like top 5 money
Was
or first and fourth place
Four.
checks were all in that
Yep.
that little touchdown zone area. That's crazy. And he kept on looking over his shoulder. He's just like,
Yeah, he's like, yo,
Brian,
what do you
check
got? He's like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
got? He's like, oh man, that's good.
yeah. Did you see that catch when he was
Top water,
that
dude,
top water.
spectacular,
Yeah.
spectacular.
Have you had that happen
Yes, actually, too many times.
too many times?
Especially like when you're looking at them, especially when you're looking at them. I had the opposite experience in Kentucky when I had like a school of spots on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working it, literally watching them come up out the water to eat it. They all just keep missing the hooks. But yeah, but for the most part, it was bad. It was bad. I was like frustrated. But yeah, for the most part, I think when they get closer to the boat, especially on like top water or even big swim baits, that I think that's always one of the good moments. Is like, maybe if I keep working it, they might bite it. Maybe if I keep, and then they finally bite. Just there is no time to grab a net. Just lift them. Just bring them in there. Give them a hug.
Just horse them in.
Yep. Just give them a hug
sure.
real quick.
Those spots over at Kentucky Lake, sometimes they're wild. They'll just like sporadically start busting.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually not the largemouth, but all the spotted bass.
All the spotted bass were. If it wasn't a spot, it was the white bass in the river that I was at. Like our day 2, it was just clear fog. I mean, just complete fog. But all you hear is just pop smacks, and then you can see shad getting launched out the water in the fog. But yeah, it was all mostly just white bass out there, just getting it.
Yeah, not too many people know that having live scope could actually hinder you because you see all these white bass, you see all these Asian carp, all this bluegill and crappie, and you're thinking, "Wow, I'm sitting on like a school of fish," but little do you know, you actually wasted your time fishing for striper or Asian carp. So it's different out there for sure, because there's more species down south.
So many. It was a lot of diversity in that water. I never caught freshwater drum. Those things horsed me all around in my Slayer. Like I didn't think that fish was that strong. I would have not have thought that fish was that strong, and that thing was working me.
The cool thing about it is they're in the same spot as bass.
Bass.
And they're a great fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, they are.
Pound for pound, I think like catfish, like a big old flathead catfish in a freshwater drum right now are like pound for pound. Just they just tug and they just drag you everywhere you want to go.
How'd you catch you caught a drum over at Kentucky?
Yeah, I caught two. One was on a Fritz side, crankbait, and the other was on, I want to say, just a little small swim jig, just a little with a kayak on the back.
Now that we're talking about, how we're catching these fish, what was your 2022, like your best bait of the year that you're not sponsored? I don't want to talk about today. I really don't want to talk about sponsorships in terms of lures. Because, I mean, to be frankly honest with you, I don't have any sponsorships that are lures that really helped me for 2022. Everything non-sponsored really helped me for 2022. Same. In terms of lures.
Yep.
So tell me, like, what was the bang for your buck for 2022 in terms of lure?
I'll just put it'll be two lures. It'll be two
lures. Yeah.
Two lures. My first is going to be, and it's still not as widely adopted. It will be eventually, but it's the missile bait magic worm.
Missile bait magic worm.
Yeah, it's the missile bait robo worm collaboration that they did on that little line, and on the St. John's River. Who was it? John Cruz, when he won it this past year. It was on that worm. So just imagine a robo worm and something like almost with the same kind of ribbed ripple design of the Guggen drag and drop.
Oh, okay.
So you get that same beautiful robo worm look, feel, action, and you get a slightly ribbed design, a little bit longer, but I mean same quality that we know of robo worm. And I mean you can throw it on anything and it still works. Wackied, drop shot, shaky head. We were just, I mean, that was one of the baits that Carolina Basco, he came back from Florida from the conference, and like that was the thing he was more so talking about. I was like, man, let me see some of these things, and he gave me a pack of 10, just a little trial run of them, and most definitely they came out. When I put them on, they showed out. So yeah, you can see that it has 3 layers. So it has its bottom layer laminate, a middle layer which is more like a blended, but it sometimes on certain colors it'll actually be its own color, and then the top layer laminate, which is the most pronounced color.
How are you fishing these? Like, what's the number one
drop shot
way to rig it up? Drop shot.
Drop shot.
What line? What hook? What weight are you primarily throwing it in?
We're throwing this. Yeah. 6 to 8 pound fluoro. I have it normally as my leader, going on to about 10 to 15 braid. Most of the time it's just 10 braid, going on to about 6 pound test fluoro. Cover shot size.
Cover shot hook, so that's a straight shank.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can nose hook it too. There's nothing wrong with it, but cover shot's been my go-to. And then
do you move up in fluorocarbon when you do a cover shot, or are you at 8 pound test?
I'm at 8 on cover shot. Yeah.
What size hook are you running?
I'm running the size 1. Size 1 silver, the silk grays.
Oh, so it's a small straight shank size 1.
It's definitely super finesse. And then I'm throwing that with so for some of our deeper areas like Sharon Harris here, I'll put a quarter on, because I literally lost a lot of big fish. I found out next to a couple of my buddies during a pretty important tournament, because I was throwing a 3/16 and they were throwing a quarter, and they did not want the 3/16. They actually wanted the quarter. So on our deeper spots where I know I'm going to be fishing more than 15 feet, I'm going quarter. But for everything else, 3/16. It's the most versatile for me, especially if I'm on a bank line and they're not reacting to any of my moving baits, and I know they're there. I'll just throw a drop shot, let it sink in there, super nice and slow, and most of the time I'll get them to come out.
How often are you breaking off fish on your drop shot?
If I break off a fish, it's probably going to be broken at me not checking my leader. I've never broken off a fish on the hook. So I won't be horsing them. Just clear. I'm putting that thing. I'm just listening to it. Click, 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 and just run the drag until I hear that drag slow down. I'm like, okay, you tired. And then we're gonna cover up some of that. And then
So
if they
you
run
take
again,
your time.
yeah, it's super. Time. Yeah, it's super gentle with them. Yeah. Just for the sheer fact that I'm pretty sure eventually I will, but no, most of the time on hook sets and fights, I don't lose them. If I do lose them, it's normally going to be at the leader because I didn't check it. Maybe fun fishing or something like that. But no, tournament wise, I haven't lost one on a drop shot this tournament season.
You know, it's crazy that we talk about like losing fish on a drop shot is those 2 and 3 day tournaments. A 12-inch fish is like, dude, it's so important. Like, people that don't fish these 2 and 3 day tournaments, especially at national championships and tournament of champions, a 12-inch fish could make it or break it.
It's the same respect that you get for that 12 that you're probably going to have for that 18, especially when your limit's not full.
Exactly. In a 1 day tournament, it's different. Yeah, you could throw that 12-inch fish away.
You'll look at that 12 with disgust, but in these 3 days, when inches over a 3 day period come into effect, you are going to be hurting when you realize like how many fish you've either missed, how many fish like you could have had, and then like or you didn't measure right. So just so many different things.
Those 2 and 3 day, especially tournaments, a 12-incher, it feels like sometimes a 20-incher.
Big facts. All day.
Big facts.
All day.
I'm gonna let my dog out real quick. Hold on.
All right. And then other bait, the second bait that's really helped me out this year was the Fritzide 7 Chartreuse Black bat. I can't tell you. Yeah.
How do you spell it? With the Z?
Frit. Two T's and side, all one word. There you
go. Which one is it?
7. So it would be the medium looking bill. So yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, and they have a 5.
There it is. Off the rip. That's it. Carolina colors right there. Give me some dirty Carolina? Water. Give me that chartreuse blackback. That's
this
money.
One right here.
No, not the first one. That's the first one on the page. That is that one crankbait this year has definitely kept me in the hunt.
Now this is a dark, dingy color type of crankbait look, right?
Yes, sir.
Like you wouldn't use this in California where it's 20 feet visibility, right?
No, you would probably throw something more natural or especially in the summer out here a more flamboyant color. So you'll probably go for that. I call it the Homer Simpson. So the citrus shad look and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, the citrus shad, sexy shad look.
Yeah, like those I would stay with all day. And then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So those are your two baits.
Yeah,
and
those
you have no affiliation with them at all whatsoever,
no,
right?
No, I don't have any. I have no lure sponsors similar. So no, I just whatever I feel has been working. I'll do small experimentations of fun fishing, but no, for the most part, 3 things I'll normally have: the drop shot, the crankbait, or a chatterbait.
Is that Berkeley Fritzide crankbait, that 7? Is that a medium diver?
It is. Yep.
And then
I run that.
Do you throw your same rod setup as you would throw a deep diving crankbait?
Not at all. Deep diver. I need a little bit longer rod. So for most of the medium cranks that I do, I'll probably stay with like a 7 foot, 7 maybe 7.1, medium, moderate. But for like some of the deeper ones, I need a little bit more backbone, a little bit better bend, because I don't know when was it. I want to say, earlier last year. I started missing a lot of fish on my deep diver because it was too stiff.
Really?
And it wasn't. Yeah, like the fish would hit it and I feel it, but like when I set the hook, I'm already pulling it out of its mouth. Like it was too much power behind it. So then I started slowly but surely. But sometimes I can get away with it with just using the same ones I use for my mediums. But I'll actually feel it on my, like, physically I'll feel from that deeper cranking a lot harder. So that's why I had to switch it up, just for if I know I'm going to be fishing deep, I have to.
You have to go like 7.6, right?
6, exactly.
7.6.
You have to,
dude. Oh my gosh,
you have to.
I remember back in the days, like 2004, dude. I was trying to throw moderate rods, 7-foot, super fiberglass whippy rod with a deep diver. It ain't gonna work, man.
It's not.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, and I've been slowly getting into just understanding the equipment better and better. I mean, I think we all are, and you don't see it initially, but you feel it over time. Once you're starting to put in 4 hours of deep cranking on the wrong equipment, you know
what I learned from Yak and Zach?
What's
that? What I learned? I learned from Yak and Zach and Damien Tao, watching their channel, is that I toss as far away as I can from the boat, like a deep diver, and then I'll just leave my rod hanging off the boat, like leaning against my boat or my fishing graph, and I'll let it rest there, and I'm just turning the knob. So I'm not putting any physical labor on my shoulder.
So I don't know, it might have been from Damien, where one of his videos, where exact same thing, but I'll let it sit. I'm on a pedal drive, so I'll put my left foot up, and then I'll just let it sit and just ride off the left foot, and then I'll be bringing it in.
Yeah, exactly. Not try to, like, you're still trying to let the rod load up so it could dive deeper. You're not trying to get in the way of that, but you're trying to at least relieve the stress off of your shoulder, your
shoulders.
Arms, you know,
exactly.
Because 3 days of doing that, man, I can't even picture that.
No, it's hurting. And that was me. That was me in Kentucky. I went on a strong crankbait. That was it. But it was medium cranks for the most part.
Okay, so let me see what we were talking about.
2 baits.
I didn't. Yeah, so we talked about the 2 baits for 2022 that really helped you out. Drop shot, and medium diving crankbait. Have you won a tournament on those 2 yet?
So no, the best I did this year was 3rd place, and that was on a floating worm. Similar, like if I would have had the missile baits magic worm, it still would have performed exactly the same. But I was just using just another straight tail worm on a floating worm setup over spawning beds, and first place was like 4 inches ahead of me. Second place was 2, so it was 84, 82, and 80 for that tournament.
Oh, it was a 3-day.
Oh no, that was a 1 day. I'm just saying, first place was 84, second place was 82, and then I was at 80. So yeah.
Okay, and okay, so what kind of baits are you throwing for 2023? Like, are you practicing on baits that you don't really fish normally during this time of the year, and then so you're gonna try to like get warmed up to it for 2023? Like, which baits are you working on right now?
Big one's gonna be swim baits. I need to have one good swim bait. I was this year the Mag Draft and Cha Cha Glide were my 2 like swim baits that I felt comfortable with, but I never brought them out in tournament or had any good success. And that was more so confidence wise, because I found some areas where I could have definitely used them. But so big swim baits, most definitely. And I think going into this upcoming year, I'm probably going to stay more so strong suited, but I really need to start using bigger jigs. I think that's looking at what was winning this year for like both our Angler of the Years, for the 2 trails I was in, the fishermen that were staying consistent throughout the year. It was jigs, and I don't have a problem throwing a jig. It's just that I'll throw a drop shot before that. And then when you look at the size of quality that you're going to pull out with either or, especially on a brush pile, like drop shot, little guys, the dinks are going to definitely attack it way before the bigs. But jigs normally get down there and it always brings out bigger fish for some odd reason.
Yeah, it does get down there faster. That's what I like about it.
Yep.
You know, it gives them something a little bit different too, and I feel like it's higher probability to bring a jig fish in than it is a drop shot or
most definitely.
Like if you want to rail one in the boat real quick ASAP, a jig fish.
Fish. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no worries, no thought process. Just it's on the hook. You're coming in the boat.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a crankbait, a deep diver, or a treble hook bait. It's not a drop shot light line. It's like you're on 20-pound test and you're coming in the boat ASAP.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta say a football jig works like really well with wood, with cover with wood and rocks.
Yep.
So if you see any vertical cover, during the Tournament of Championships, I found this vertical piece of cover. I think it was a piece of wood, like a stump, on live scope in like 4 feet of water, 5 feet of water. And I had my kayak beached up parallel with the bank.
Yep.
And I just pointed my live scope toward the vertical cover. I cut off a 6-inch Senko, put it on there just like a Greg Blanchard setup, trimmed the trailer a little bit, trimmed the skirt.
Yeah.
Cast it out there, dragged a little bit around that little stump, and I felt my rod load up, and then I just swung on it.
Yeah.
Dude, 65-pound braid, and I think I had...
No worries.
Yeah, 17-pound fluorocarbon, and dude, there's
Yeah,
nothing
no
better
worries.
feeling, dude, setting the hook with braid.
Yeah, you know it. You're like, that's definitely a bite. And you know as soon as when you're whipping that thing going for it, it's like, I got you. And that kid is like, I got you.
And you know if that fish is a 12-incher or like a 15-incher.
That it'll tell you right here, when it gets past your chest.
Yep.
If it's still going,
still going,
baby. It's a baby. But if it stops at your heart, you be like,
yeah.
this is it.
If it stops there, then you're like, oh, it's a keeper.
Yep.
Right? It's a 15. But then if it starts dogging you back, dude,
yeah.
that's a take, bro. You already know, bro.
Yeah, it's the best. So this year it was it for me because I would tell, especially from a jig fish, once I got that bite, if that line was just moving fast, I was like, let me just get this in the boat. But if that line was moving like, I'm like, yo, because I'll be telling Stream, I was like, yo, Stream, it's a big one. Hold on. I had to, because from the seating position, I mean, I can get them, but I gotta stand up, pulling up line. I'm like, and then just like I said, if it comes right here and I'm already twisted, I'm like, yeah, this is it.
So tell everybody, like, how long have you been doing Twitch for?
I've been doing Twitch since Twitch was not Twitch. I've been streaming. Yeah, no lie. I've been streaming. It's originally games, so I started back in 2008, 2007. Mm-hmm. So when Twitch was Justin.tv, and it was just literally stream everything, anything like it's becoming now. And it eventually moved into from Justin.tv to Twitch, where it more focused on gaming. And over the last, I would say 5 to 6 years, they're opening back up to stream anything, stream everything, where you can find so many different pieces of content or content creators on it. And yeah, so I've been on that platform for going on about 12 years.
I didn't even ask you about your fishing story. How did you get into fishing? And then all of a sudden popped in your head, I'm going to start streaming this. Like, this is...
Oh, man. So... Fishing's been in my life since probably like the age of 4. I think, about 4.5, 5. Mm-hmm. Always been fishing. Like that's like my dad always took me out. And I think I got hooked on bass fishing probably, I would say 5.5, 6.
Oh, that's early, dude.
Yo, yeah, my dad, I was bank fishing. My dad put me on some spawning bass, and I wasn't wearing sunglasses, and he just told me, he was like, hey, throw between these 2 rocks. And he just give me a just a little cheapo eagle claw, little bait hook, night crawler, and there's 2 split shots on it. He was like, just throw right there. I was like, okay. And I remember it clear as day. Literally, my line is just dropping down between 2 rocks, and then it just goes straight. And he was like, "You got the fish." I said, "I don't feel anything." He said, "It's sitting there eating your worm." I was like, "Okay." And just like we were talking about, I set the hook, little spinning setup. I set the hook like this. Mind you, I'm like 40 pounds wet at this point. Next thing I know, after I set the hook, I'm going like this, running into the water. This thing,
wow.
it was about 5.5. It was a 5.5 pound largemouth in New Jersey. I'm originally from Jersey, so and I mean, got her in. Dad took a picture. Man, that was it. I was hooked. I was like, I need to catch these fish, because bluegills and sunnies were my thing. I loved looking at like microfish and things like that growing up. But I mean,
here.
once I got the big green fish, that set the addiction up.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it, man. That tug. Yeah. It's a drug, dude. That
it's
tug
a drug.
Is a drug,
bro. It is so cliche, but it definitely is. It definitely is the drug. But so throughout my whole life, fishing's always been there, and technology's always been there. I'm a huge computer technology driven mind person. Oh, yeah. So video game, I did that competitively, and my thing was I might as well stream it so I can have content to push out before.
Were you ever a popular streamer for gaming?
I kind of was, but it was more in a niche group. Oh, so before all the Battlegrounds came out, it originated from the PC, and it came from like before your actual PlayerUnknown's Battleground, before your Fortnites. I was playing a game called Arma, and it was a mod. You can play different types of games, and that's where like a lot of the Battleground games originated from. And I used to stream and play games with a lot of the people who developed a lot of those. So yeah, at that point in time on Twitch, I had about 5,000 I had about 4,000 like followers that I would play games and they would always watch and things like that. And then over time, just life, I was like, I gotta stop playing games. I gotta get out and get back to what I was doing. I was like, I'll just take you guys fishing with me. And
do you think if you would have kept on going, you would have? Is there monetary value in that, in gaming and streaming, particularly your games that you're playing?
No, not the games that I was playing. In that little niche group, in that niche community of games that I was playing, no, there was no growth. I would have to do a lot more mainstream
video games. Yeah,
way more AAA titles, things, and follow a lot more trends. I would have had to if you're going to try to be following that wave of successful monetary growth on that platform, and you're doing in gaming, you have to. You either plant your feet on one game, become a master of it, the only person that people want to watch on it, or you become jack of all trades and play. and you play the trends of what's popular and try to get as many eyes on you as possible because of the popularity of the game.
What do you think about fishing?
I think
twitching and fishing, live streaming.
Twitch and fishing, it's good, but it's rough. Like, I mean, we literally talking to you about it yesterday. You can see investment wise compared to what you get back, you're going to be in the negative for a while. It's there is no other way around it. I mean, you can go simple, but eventually you're going to want to grow it and grow like your hardware and what you have, and you're going to see like you're going to be in the red, and you have to push through it.
Dude, but what if you rigged up your boat with like a video switcher? So you had two cameras going on, right? And then you could switch between camera angles. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to throw this out there. My buddy Chris, Original Tech, on Twitch, he actually does that
for bass fishing.
For bass fishing.
So he has a little module, and he yak attacked or rail blaza the whole thing on his rail, and he hits a button and it cuts to a different camera. Yep. No freaking way.
That we're at that point in technology, man. Like our community is pretty dang smart, and we set it up. But like I was saying, like video broadcaster, like you can do your production, like you can have your scene swaps, you can have all your different like pop-up promos and things like that. You can set those up, but there's so many programs to do that now that you can send commands through your Twitch chat to send to, like I was telling you, a home server. The home server's chat picks up your command, and it goes to whatever you have that command from your chat to your production side of things. So if I'm on the water and I need to say I wanted to switch to a scene where you guys could from my back, but you wanted to see from my chest, and I had 2 cameras, I can just put in, like, if I can just name it an alias of a command named chest, and it'll switch that scene from behind me to my chest, and you guys will be here.
Is it something like Alexa or like, hey Siri, like turn on the alarm or something like that for 10 minutes?
I wholeheartely wish it was that good, but no, we're still in that infancy stage of getting a lot of that worked on, where bright minds are thinking of ways to make it easier. But you'll see a lot of it, like on the Twitch IRL section, where you'll have people just walking around, chatting and things like that, or just chatting. But yeah, they'll be out just real time, and then putting in a command, and it'll swap to another scene. So
tell me a command that you use on the water for your
privacy.
Twitch users.
Yep, ! Privacy. So there was a situation where a person, this was I think our 3rd tournament, there was a person illegally letting off their firearm in the wood line of a place I was checking out for practice. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, stream, I got to call 911. I got to do all this other stuff. So literally put the scene on privacy. That mutes them. It puts them on like a B-roll of like clips that have been made throughout Twitch that I've already made.
I think I've seen that. I've seen you put B-roll on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. And you'll see the B-roll rolling, and you won't hear what's happening. But on the other side, I'm calling 911, calling game warden, all that, getting that done. And then maybe like 5-10 minutes later, I'll bring it back onto live scene, and you guys will be right there back on me. So
why wouldn't you keep it live for that scenario? Just for your safety.
I have to. No. So yeah, I have to give, most of the time I have to give them information that I don't want people that are watching to have. So they'll have to know my name. They'll have to know my phone number. They'll have to know my exact location, things like that.
Oh, okay. You just didn't want to give your public contacts out and etc.
Yeah.
And your full name.
It's Okay. And that's just one instance of like scene swapping. Like I was saying, my buddy Chris, he'll have a scene where if he's doing a promotion for a snack, or if he's doing a promotion for something else, he'll have that promotion either pop up, or he'll just give it a dedicated scene, and that's with like ! ads or ! promo, things that we at home put in for commands, and we can do those kind of production scene swaps.
How how responsive is that when you say ! Privacy? Is it is it pretty responsive?
It's extremely responsive.
Really?
Let's see.
The reason why you say ! Is it because you would never say that in a normal conversation?
Yeah, it's because you want your program that's doing the production side to have its own commands that nobody else can access. So you have to give it some kind of creativity or some kind of idea that it's not just normal chat. It's a command chat. It's a command to do something. But I mean, I can pull up a demo for you right now. Like,
can you be like privacy?
Privacy. No, I wish it was voice activated. If there was a way to voice activate.
Oh wait, so you have to type it in?
Have to type it.
Oh, it's not voice command.
It's not voice command, not yet.
Okay.
So yeah, if it was voice command, I think it would be pretty good. But yeah, I think the and then say, switch scenes. It'll pick it up quick. It'll pick it up. But no, it's more so chat commands the way we have it set up now. Eventually, I mean, with the way programming and coding works, I'm pretty sure somebody will think of a way where we can access like either what's the Android, Bixby or Siri.
So like your subscribers have to pay for a subscription, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Twitch is free. At the end of the day, Twitch is always going to be free. A subscription on Twitch just allows you to get through ads and emotes. Yeah, so ads are always going to be there with the Amazon buyout.
So let's say if someone tips you like $5 or something like that, do you usually type out say thank you or something like that, or sometimes you can't?
Yeah, no, I always have it. So there's a specific alert for donations or tips that come in, and then at the end of that that part of the donation clips, it actually tells me like who did it, and I have an alert system. Like I was telling you yesterday, there is an alert system. It broadcasts it to the stream, so the stream knows it's happening. Mm-hmm. I know it's happening, and it gives the information of what was donated or tipped and the person doing it. So I literally instantaneously thank and or initiate that interaction. There is no lag between that one. Those are normally right there.
What was the biggest tip that you got during like one of your Twitch? Or I mean, if it's not like one donation,
$1,000.
Collectively in one trip, or just someone just dropped you $1,000.
Dropped a G.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, what a fan, dude. That's awesome.
I mean,
or like that's fam, like that's someone close to you.
That was definitely, and he didn't have to do it, but it was a developer for, like I was saying, with that small community of games that I was doing. One of the developers that branched off to create his own little thing that's still thriving and growing. He was like, man, I respect what you do, and I love, what you've done for me in my career and things like that, and just the conversations. He's like, here, I have it now, so I can give it. And sure enough, he dropped a G.
Sometimes it's like those angels that
Dude,
just pop out of nowhere that kind of give you that, like, hey, come on, like, don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't
you're a good person. It's just a reminder.
Person. Just a reminder. Get up from your couch. Go shoot as much content as you can. Go do what you love. Go do what you're made to do in like the 100 years that you're going to be living on this earth. This short time that you're here. Go do what you want to do. Don't sit at a desk doing something that you hate in life.
Yeah, most definitely.
Reminder.
Yeah, that's exactly why I took it. Because I mean, my stream my stream growth was I would say plateaued. So the people that normally came in were the people that know that I'm there. Not a lot of new eyes, not a lot of potential spikes in viewership. But I mean, out of the blue, just 1,000. He was like, yo, I know what you're thinking. I know everything you're going through, and I understand, but hey, I need it. Like I said, it was a quick reminder. You're doing the right thing. You have the content. You're doing the great thing. I mean, coming from a person who develops games and watches how games grow and builds games all day, and hearing that from him, I was like, dude, thank you.
Is there anybody that you know of in bass fishing? Do you want to give a shout out to that gentleman, or no, or does he want to keep it private?
Big shout outs to the homie Dondi.
Dondi.
The game. He's the creator of the game called The Isles. It's a little survival dinosaur game. And it's still. I mean, he's had it out for about 10 years, and that thing is still kicking and still doing its thing.
You play on your phone or you play on the computer?
It's a PC game.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
Shout out to Dandy. Thanks for supporting my homie Alex Sterling.
Yep. But fishing wise, it's the community. I mean, Kentucky Lake. I would say 1/3 of my travel was just Twitch community and support. So it was dope.
You pulled out enough funds to support 1/3 of your trip.
Yeah, I pulled out. It was 14. So it was $400. That was the donation goal. That was to get me there, registered, get a license, and gas to get there.
Wow.
And they covered it. That was $400 covered in, I think, 4 days.
Let's go.
And I put everybody who supported me, and it's in the YouTube video, but I put everybody who supported me on the back of the boat. They all got their own little space in the back of the boat. Their names were there.
Oh, really? So, that's touching, man.
Dude, it was. I mean, I couldn't believe the support, because I never asked my community for money. That's not something I do. But I knew for that one, financially, I wasn't going to make it on my own, or I was going to leave my wife here eating ramen noodles. Whichever one worked. In the long run, I knew I couldn't leave her here with the.
Was it emotional to get? Is it your first KBF
bro.
National Championship?
Yeah, that was my first like big tournament. Like everything.
Were you emotional?
Yeah, I was extremely emotional. But the thing was, like, the people that donated, I have their phone numbers. So literally, I'm after I get off the water of stream, I'm calling them, about to break down in tears. Like, dude, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. And I
don't think people know like the extent we go through. Like for these 3-day tournaments, 3-day practice, on the road traveling, giving it all you got.
You got
the mental the toughest thing is like mental and physical. Like just
yeah,
it's crazy.
mostly mental. It's mostly mental. It is. I mean, this sport at the end of the day, it's mostly mental.
And to hear your name be called out at the KBF National Championship for the top 100. It's like,
how did you feel?
I felt surprised. Like, this is my second one, so it didn't feel as good as the first one. I feel like the first one, you could tell yourself, like, I'm good enough to compete against the top 100 in the nation, right? The very first one. The second one is kind of like, meh, like, okay, like, you want to get a top 20 or something like that, you know, in your second one to validate you a little bit more, right? But the first one, that's why I wanted to ask you, how does it feel as your first one?
Dude, I couldn't. So coming off the water, I even looked at when I looked at the leaderboard, I was sitting in 30th. I was like sitting in 30 something. I was like, and I looked at my buddy Jerry. I was like, dude, I made the top 100. I had to. Ain't no way. I'm sitting there. Ain't no way. Nobody pushing me out of this. He's like, I was like, yo, you got it. And then like,
dude, you were sitting 30th.
I was sitting in 38th before they took the standings off. I was sitting in 38th. Only had 3 fish
for day 2.
For day 2, only had 3 fish, and I was sitting in 38th. I was like, ain't no way somebody taking me out of top 100.
What did you finish after day 2?
49.
Dude, you're basically.
I was in top.
I don't know if you
50.
watched my video like from my first national championship, but I was about around the same rank.
You were in like 45, 46.
Yeah.
Dude, trust and believe. I knew.
Yeah.
Dude, I was sitting there like, yo, I got a dang chance.
Yeah. Did you actually shed a tear? Or were you like, how were you, dude?
So I was probably about 15 minutes from the launch, and I'm just slowly going in. Jeremy, I know you're gonna hate me for this because my boy Jeremy was salty. He caught about 50 white bass. He could not get a score. He needed one scoreable just to get into top 100. He was out of top 100 by less than 3 inches.
That's like my homie too. They finish around like 110th or 105.
He finished. No, he officially finished 103 with inches out. And he literally needed one more fish. But I'm sitting there. I already knew he was just completely out of it. But I'm sitting there like, yo, texting my mom. I'm texting my girl. I'm like, I made top 100. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm texting our group chat. I'm like, I'm in the top 100.
Yeah, your first KBF national championship, dude.
Yeah, I'm sitting out. Like, I'm like, I'm in the top one. I had to, and then once we got there, and then Chad's doing all the names, walking back and forth, like, yo, please just call my name. And I'm sitting there recording, and it just so happened I'm sitting there recording, and I was like, I think he was like three walkbacks in. I'm like, oh man, all right, I'll just have to sit here. I'm probably gonna be. And then as soon as I put it down, he called it, and I was like, all right, I wasted my recording time. But nah, dude, I was super ecstatic. I was to the moon and back. I couldn't believe it. And like you said, the same mindset. I was like, out of the 249 anglers that have come around this nation to go into this event, I'm in the top 50. Like, and it like I did something really, really dang on good.
Yeah, if you made the right decision all year round, if you ranked all your right decisions year round, that was probably the best right decision that you could have made.
Facts. Dude, that was it.
Top 50, you know?
Yep. Looking back at the way we did practice and coming off of practice and then sitting in those spots, because I only had 3 spots. It was a triangular milk run, and I was rotating probably every hour and a half. And just knowing that there was always going to be fish reloading and relocating to these hot spots. Sometimes it's on, sometimes not. I just got to keep rotating to figure it out. And then, like I said, popping up in 50th or 49th, I'm like, yo, I did it right. Yeah. I did it right.
Yeah, you gave yourself a shot at it.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
It was really good.
It'll never, like, another KBF top 50 will never feel the same. I really don't think so. Like, if you went and repeat the same next year, it would give you a little validation, like, hey, I'm consistent.
consistent, but no, you want more. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's our sport, and that's how we are competitively. It's
Exactly.
like I've set a baseline. Now I have to do better than that baseline.
But it's
That
tough.
foundation's
You
already
can't
set.
like go too hard on yourself because the next year, there's more losing than winning in this sport. So
Humbles the bejeebers out of you.
yeah, dude.
It takes you, sweeps your feet off, and you're like, yo, I was at this spot, last year, and I was killing them here. Now these fish ain't here, or I did the same thing. I was like, no, it's a new year.
Yeah.
Same fish, mostly if you're looking for those same big ones, but it's a different year.
Yeah,
different
it
day.
is. You got to take
Different day.
every win or every accolade with like just respect it, kind of
Yep.
like treat it like gold because you never know if you're ever gonna place in that same category anymore. But
Correct.
that's the thing is you still got to believe in yourself, because why are you out there being a negative Nancy? You have to be always positive, believe in yourself,
Always.
all the way through.
Always.
Optimism.
Optimism and a clear mindset will always treat you right out there on the water.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know if you have a buddy of yours or something that's always a negative Nancy, but I have a few.
I don't. I try not to. Like I try not to. So like most of the time when I'm figuring out new fishing buddies or we're in the trail and like new guys are coming in and they're trying to they want to practice, they want to learn tournament stuff, and we're out there and I'm like, and they start getting discouraged. Like, nah, man. You ain't, and they'll watch me catch maybe 3-4 fish, but they won't catch anything. I'm like, don't compare. Fish what you want to do.
Yeah.
Have fun. If the fish come, they come. Yeah. We're not here in a tournament, so just enjoy it. But at that point, you can decide. At that point, like, should I be fishing with this person? Because energy level got to be right. Because if your fishing buddy's energy level is negative, misery loves company, dude.
Is there any advice that you would give to fishermen that always like brings up either a lost fish or like someone did this, someone did that to me during a tournament? Like, do you have any advice for those people that are just always find themselves complaining about something negative or has to have a negative story come up? Like, any tips for them?
Man, I think my biggest thing to give anybody, especially if the mindset's not right, is look to your left, look to your right, and understand that you have that perfect opportunity and that opportunity to be outside. Mm-hmm. Some people don't get that. Some people do not. Like, you're out here competing with another group of gentlemen for a stupid greenfish.
Yeah.
Like, just bring it into perspective and then just be grateful. Like, a lot of people don't get these kind of opportunities to get out here and do this.
That's funny. That's so funny because I do the same exact thing. Whenever I lose a fish or like a fish flops off my board, I'll literally take a minute and I'll start looking up and I'll look at the like beautiful scenery, the outdoor life, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? Things will be okay. Like, I'm already out here and things can't get much worse than this.
Worse. That's exactly it. It can't get much worse. Especially if you know that you've been catching or you lost like a consistent amount of fish. Mm-hmm. Optimistically, I have to look at it like I'm on them. Yeah. The only issue is my execution. All I got to do is just figure out why I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm on the fish.
Yeah.
Where you got guys zipping up and down to your left like they can't find fish, and you're sitting there like, yeah, I can't catch fish, and you're like, and then switch sides. If you were the guy who can't find fish, or do you want to be the guy who's like, oh, I just can't catch these fish? Like, no, you want to be the guy who's like, I can, if I try hard enough, I can catch these. They're in the boat. I just I had a little error.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. So we are officially like top 5 KBF brothers now.
Oh man, easy. Easy. Swing for the fences.
Is there anybody that you want to thank before we head out?
Yeah. Big thanks over to Carolina Basco. Craig, if you're watching, if you hear this, man, always appreciate what you did and what you're doing. Like, small business. I mean, I'm watching the small business grow. So thank you. Big shout outs to the wife. She's somewhere out there. Just like
I
we were
heard
talking
her
about,
cooking a little bit.
yeah. So when just like we were talking about, with just opportunity and me being out there on the water, she'll pop in the stream. I don't remember what tournament it was, and I lost one at the boat, and I think it was a winning fish. And she said, I didn't expect her to be in the stream. She said, "Hey, pick your head up, keep casting. You know what you're doing."
Damn.
I was like, "Oh.
Yeah, when they come out surprise you like that,
yo, I was like, yo, that's my wife, dog. Yo, that energy, my energy level. When I was like, yo, next fish is it's getting the hook set of a lifetime. It's getting in this boat.
It's different.
My wife done told me,
dude. It's different.
Yeah,
you can't. When you get some like support like that from your girlfriend, it means more than anybody on
anything.
Earth.
You can't say nothing to me. You can't say nothing to me at that point.
Yeah,
those fish are getting caught.
Mike Iaconelli, Jacob Wheeler, they call me, they tell me to put my head up. Still, girlfriend,
that wife,
yo,
yep. you can't say nothing.
And she popped up in your live stream like who?
Dog, it was so good. The fact that she was even watching the stream of me in a tournament and then saw that and then said, "Nah,
dude, that's awesome, man.
Pick your head up. You know what you're doing." Yeah,
what a wife, dude. Hopefully, I get to meet your wife sometime,
dude. I'm trying to get her comfortable with traveling and doing this. We're going to be heading down to Hartwell for Brian Latimer's tournament in January.
Dude, I was just about to say, like, dude, are you like friends with Brian Latimer or something?
No,
like
I wish I was.
Because you guys are kind of raised the same way. You guys are like fishing as a kid,
family.
And
yep.
You guys have the same stash, same kind of attitude, you know.
Yep. So getting her used to it. I wanted this year to try to get her on a kayak, but that wasn't happening. I got to get her to swim first. Luckily, I was a swimming instructor, so I'll get her out there eventually. But inevitably,
so why are you going out there to see Brian Latimer? Support him as a fan?
No, I qualified for this tournament. I did. He had three qualifying tournaments this year
for kayak.
No, it's for anything. You could bank fish, kayak, John boat. Bass boat, yeah, check it out. It's the Straight Up Fishing series that he put up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he'll be doing it next year. But if you did top 40 in any of the three tournaments, because he had a spring, a summer, and a fall. Mm-hmm. And if you did good in any of those in top 40, you're then qualified for in-person tournament down at Lake Hartwell in South Carolina.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm qualified for that. So it's 40 out of 3. So a max could be 120. But if you look at the stats, the top 20 people were normally consistent throughout all 3 tournaments, including myself, and we're all in there. So potentially more than 120 people could possibly be into that.
What is the winnings and how do you submit fish?
So he was running it through Fishing Chaos. So same way we submit. That was really funny. Just like I said, for bank fishermen, boat fishermen, kayak fishermen, John boat fishermen, a lot of people don't know kayak fishing.
There's going to be a lot of denies.
Yo, so many. They had the wrong boards. They had the wrong identifier. Mouth open. I'm talking wide, trying to get inches, squeezing them inches out.
Hand in the gill plate,
the gills, dude,
covering the
dead
eye,
fish, dead fish.
Yeah.
Dude, it was bad. But so that was
weights under the fish,
dude. I really wanted to sit down and talk to his staff, but I think they went out, just like you were saying, with third party judging group.
Yeah,
I think by not the spring but the summer and the fall, I think they gave it up to a third party judging group that handled it, because it went way smoother. But that first spring tournament, I literally had to call. I thought I was calling Brian, but I was calling his cameraman and his other friend that's running it, and I was trying to explain to him, if you guys are going to do a CPR event, you got to have these things covered. And we were on the phone for about like 15 minutes because they denied my all 5 of my fish, because they said my board wasn't a catch board, and they weren't used to seeing the old school catch boards with the cradles. They were more seeing the Catch X or the Catch carbonates. I was like, no, if you look at picture 3, you can see there's a Catch barcode, and then they go back and look at the picture while I'm on the phone. It's like, oh, we didn't know Catch made these. I was like, yeah, you guys got a lot to learn. If you need, and I told him, I was like, if you guys need somebody to talk to or, do verifications, I was like, you can call me. I'll give my tournament director's information. Like they can help you get things situated. But like I said, by the spring, by the summer and the fall, they had, it was clear cut. They had the rules. They had the judge correctly and everything.
Dude, that's pretty stressful, like being on the phone with someone and trying to get your fish accepted. Like how you felt, I know exactly how you felt because I had the wrong identifier on.
Yeah, I'm about to say you had the wrong ID on. You made some calls. You made some calls.
Dude,
yeah, no,
I know how you felt, bro.
Definitely had to, but yeah. So that we'll be there early January. Sweet. But one big sponsor throughout Bass Juice. My buddy Jay, he helped me when I first moved down here and was fishing. Literally just bank fishing. Ran into one random dude. He was like, "I like the way you fish." I looked at him. I was like, "I like the way you fish,
dude." I have a shirt, and I just want to say thanks to Guppy's Fishing. He's a guide out here in SoCal. I was hanging out with Butch Brown. Do you know Butch Brown?
Isn't that the swim bait guy?
Yeah, I was just in his car. He was like, "Dude, I'll tune your bait for free." And so he got done tuning it, and I'm just talking to him in his truck, like he's giving me a little advice. And then Guppy's Fishing comes out of nowhere and hands us 2 of his T-shirts. Look at that. It's a tank, bro. It's a tank.
Dude, it's a tank.
But, like, that's awesome that you met him on the bank. And he's just like, dude, I like you. I'm going to give you a T-shirt. That's awesome.
He's been like a fishing mentor for me down here. Dude's
that's awesome.
Always open to teach, always open for information, always asking questions, always giving out.
What does a T-shirt look like? Let me see it. The juice.
Bass juice.
Damn,
it's the bass juice.
The bass juice.
Yeah, he does attractants. He does attractants in some other. He does apparel and attractants, and his attractants are pretty decent. Like they work. They're really made for like a lot of Z-Man plastics. They soak it really well. They don't get swell. They don't get swollen. You can soak all the other baits, but the Z-Man baits really take on his attractant really well.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, really, really dope dude. We had a fundraiser for him this year. He had some health issues. It was last year, post-COVID, had some health issues, and community came together. We ran a fundraiser for him and everything for a monthly online tournament, and just get him some medical equipment, get him back on the water if he wanted to go out, like extra oxygen tank, help him out with like getting a cart and stuff. But he's back on the water. I would say he's probably like 95%. If he's watching this, he can probably respond. But cool. Yeah, dude, super awesome. Really, really cool guy. Super down to earth.
Awesome. What's his name again?
John.
John. Thanks, John.
Yep.
Thanks,
John.
Dandy, John, Alex's wife, Carolina Basco.
Yeah. Dude, all of them.
Honestly, Alex wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys.
Yep. And then my last shout out, one more shout out, just my Twitch community.
Yeah.
I try not to give them a big head. Like I don't want them to blow up, but a pretty dang good group of people that come out to watch me fish day in and day out. That just really good folks. We always have good conversations. If it's either about sports, if it's about the days they have in fishing, if it's about somebody stubbing their toe, we're going to talk about it and we're going to have fun. So yeah,
if you guys are listening right now, put in 100 in his next stream.
No.
If you're not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. Put in 100 because I want to see Alex Sterling at either the KBF NC again or the Hobie BOS Championship.
Yeah, we gonna try. That's the move for next year.
Oh, is the Hobie BOS?
Try to do some bigger nationals that are within range. Me, like just like I was telling you, my boy Jeremy, he hit me up yesterday. He was like, mostly everything is in. The only scene that hasn't put up their tournaments is Bass.
Yeah. And
once that's up, we'll have a full year of what we're going to do. My wife's not going to probably like it, but yeah, we're gonna be trying to do some tourneys.
So you're gonna do the Hobie BOS, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do a couple of the local ones. I don't want to travel more than 10 hours out. So I know for Hobie, they're going to probably do Santee again, where they're going to be down there. funny thing is when Santee Cooper does it, Queen City KBF also runs it. So last year, if you watch Christine Fisher's, she won Queen City's event, and I think she placed pretty nicely in Hobie. So you can double dip really well on the South Carolina groups with that one. And then I really want to try the Susquehanna. Like, I've only been there once when I lived up north. That's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've only been up there once, and that was because my grandfather wanted to go visit his family. So it was a good time.
How far is Florida from you?
Florida depends. Are we talking central or are we talking south?
Where's Kissimmee at?
I think that's south, so probably like 11.
Oh, so that's a little tough.
Yeah.
It's not exactly Cattle Lake or Kentucky, right? But still tough. Because they'll be at Kissimmee too, I believe. I don't think I'm fishing Hobie BOS, but
the KBF put some nice ones in there for the for the West
they
Coast.
put Delta and Havasu. I'm giving myself I'm giving it some thought, But I already know that there's chances are I'm not going to go to Chickamauga for national championship. Especially, there's that lake. I mean, it's just big waters, and there's so much locals that have the upper end.
Oh yeah, it's Tennessee. Tennessee as a fishery, as a state of a fishery, hammers. It just hammers.
Yeah.
It's too much it's so much variety in that state of different type of waters to fish, and the people who've decided that's going to be their home base. And, it's like they figured it out. They're
Russ
getting
Snyder.
it. I mean,
Russ Snyder.
Everybody. I mean, you can look at the kayak scene. You can look at the professional scene. A lot of people will leave home and make Tennessee their home base. Travel, fishing diversity, and just overall living for the sport. It's too good not to.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I wish I had a list, dude, of like people that lived in Tennessee.
Home base it.
Home base it. I wonder. Yeah, that's interesting. If there was a website that lists out, anglers by state for kayak anglers, that would be that would be game changer. But hey, man, I just want to say thank you for coming on as the third guest of my podcast. My podcast
Honored.
is relatively new, and from short notice, like it seems like the short notice invitations are working for me. It's the longer ones that don't work. You know what I mean? It's like
about to say don't stop until it doesn't work. Keep sending out those short invitations.
Yeah, I should do it, man. Like, hey, are you available tonight, tomorrow? It should just be tonight or tomorrow. It shouldn't even be next week. Are you available?
Next week? Yeah. Next Sunday, you good? No. Yeah, I'll be good, but by Friday, I'm not good for Sunday. No. Yeah. Nah, you catch him on Friday, yo. You good for Sunday? I'll be there. Now you there. That's it. You ain't backing out.
Exactly. Are you available in the next 15 minutes?
15 minutes? There you go. You got an hour? You got an hour
exactly.
For me real quick? I was like, I got you.
Give a place or a shout out for your Twitch, your Instagram, any social medias that really support you in terms of finding more sponsors to help you out in this kayak fishing world.
Oh man.
Give a shout out. This is your time right now.
All right, appreciate it. So you guys can find me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv, Solidus2. So it's SOL1DUS2. Instagram, Solidus_TTV for twitch.tv. You can find me there. YouTube, Alex on the Water. I'll eventually get everything to Alex on the Water, but right now, if I still wanted to game, I don't want to kind of conflict it. But yeah, YouTube, Alex on the Water, and then everything else, Solidus too.
Okay, sweet. And we'll be looking for future content, hopefully Hobie BOS.
Yeah, we'll probably be putting a lot more tournament stuff in. I'll be more proactive on a lot of my YouTube because if you're on my Twitch channel, I'm probably out at least 2 to 3 times a week. I just never upload to YouTube. Yeah. So inevitably, I'll start editing these short days on the water and starting to push them to YouTube. But yeah, man, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem at all. I just want to thank Z Pro for supporting me to help, open up these opportunities for other anglers. And we'll see you at the next episode. I don't know who it's going to be, but it'll be a surprise. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Dom.